Welcome our new sponsor to the Man at 50 podcast, Scars and Stripes Coffee Company. They empower veterans to build their own business using their e-commerce platform. When you purchase from Scars and Stripes Coffee, you are buying from a veteran, and your purchase directly impacts the men and women who have served our country. Do more than say, thank you for your service. Order today and empower a veteran. Use vet code Richard at scarsandstripescoffee.com. That's scarsandstripescoffee.com. Welcome back, everybody, to the Man at 50 podcast. I'm your host, S. Richard, author of the book Man at 50, A Journey of Crisis, Revelation, and Survival. So let's get started on the Man at 50 podcast, a podcast that is for you, your little person within you, your hopes, your dreams, and hopefully a new plan for the future. Welcome back, everybody, to the Man at 50 podcast. I'm your host, Brad Richard, and we are back with another episode. Today, we are joined by Michael Cecchini. Is that correct? Cecchini. Okay. Michael Cecchini. I apologize for that. Michael is a health advisor. He is also the director of operations of a very exciting new company. The company's name is Pure Green. And just want to give you a little bit of information about Michael. He's on a mission to help others live healthier lifestyles. And like I said, he is the director of operations of Pure Green, a leading supplier of cold-pressed juices and wellness shots. Michael oversees day-to-day operations across the brand's 5 New York City locations and franchises in Florida and Chicago. Disclaimer, this is a company that I'm involved in as a independent investor. And I'll just put that out there as a disclaimer. But it's my show, so I can basically pretty much have any company on I want or any person that I want. So I just wanted to let listeners know that I am involved with the company, and it's a fascinating company, and their product line is amazing. They are reaching out to the first responders and the healthcare workers, mainly in New York, providing them immunity shots and looking out for their health and well-being. It's just an incredible company, and they're on the move. And to hear more about the company, today we're going to talk with Michael, and he is going to be talking about health, well-being, a little bit about Pure Greens and what they offer, and the importance of our health. And everybody today is really honed in or focused on healthy living. So welcome, Michael, to the Man at 50 podcast. How you doing in New York?
Thank you so much for having me today, and doing great. Thank you for that great introduction. I've been with Pure Green for a number of years now. As you'd mentioned, we're on a mission to help build healthier communities around the world, and that is my main focus. We have currently 5 locations in Manhattan, New York, and we just opened our first franchise in Florida, and we are currently in construction in our location in Chicago, which will be opening in the month of July.
Cool. Now, as far as the company, what year did the company start in? Because I know you're fairly new.
Yes, of course. So it founded in 2014 by Ross Franklin, who has an extensive background in health and fitness. And truly, he was within that realm for many years, and he saw an opportunity to continue to develop people's health and wellness through superfoods and natural fruits and smoothies, acai bowls, because nutrition is one of the most important aspects of one's well-being. Physical fitness is one of the elements, and definitely one of the elements that one needs to take into consideration, of course, but the foods that you consume on a daily basis are definitely going to attribute to how well you are or rather how successful you are in that journey. And at Pure Green, we are doing everything we can to continue to develop people throughout that process.
Okay. I think, when I talk with people as far as, healthy living and healthy eating, and the consumption of healthy food, I think that's a real problem for a lot of people in the US of A, where I think, generally speaking, I think the US is on a carb only diet. And I know that obesity, adult and child obesity is just like out of control. Do you think that people, when you talk to people about superfoods, or you talk to people about the facts that most of our food now, whether it be processed or not, a lot of the food that's on the shelves in the store, a lot of the foods these days have very little nutrition left in them, and so I'd like to cover kind of two things. Number one, if you could define for the listeners what is a superfood. That's fine. My phone went off a couple episodes ago, and I was just like, whoa, and it took me like an hour to mute it. So, but if we could tell the listeners and just give them a definition of what is a superfood, number one, and number two, what are the facts, or what are the things that you're aware of when it comes to the lack of nutrition in the food that we're purchasing? Because I know the nutritional levels have dropped dramatically in the food that we consume and that we buy in the stores.
Well, in general, superfoods are nutrient-dense foods. So you're looking at things or elements in order to get the most amount of nutrition within a food group. So, for example, we use chia seeds, we have blueberries, ginger, coconut, grass-fed whey protein. We use pitaya fruit in some of our smoothies, coconut water, acai, raw cacao, spirulina, cayenne pepper at times, and then also turmeric. So each one of these superfoods have different principles. Like, for example, blueberries is a very high antioxidant superfood. Chia seeds is high in omegas. Ginger is great for your gut biome. Coconut is great for hydration. And then we also have grass-fed whey protein, which, depending on if the person is on a plant-based diet or non-plant-based diet, sometimes people lean towards grass-fed whey protein for growing and or repairing muscles. Acai is a Brazilian superfood, and I've had the opportunity to go to Brazil a couple months ago, actually, and taste it in its original state, which is a super high antioxidant berry that takes a significant amount of work to get it to its state that people find it in their acai bowls or smoothies. But it's the highest amount of antioxidants. So antioxidant is helping remove toxins from the body. And then again, we have other superfoods that are on our menu, but each one of these superfoods really are targeting a maximum impact in one's health and wellness. So for example, with ginger is great for, your immune system, and helping with your gut biome. And then turmeric, for example, is great for anti-inflammatory. So anytime I'm talking to a guest at Pure Green, I'm ensuring that they understand what they're consuming and why they're consuming it. For example, if somebody were to come into a Pure Green, one of my first questions is, how are you feeling today? What are your goals? What are you looking to achieve, throughout your experience? And it will vary. For example, if somebody's coming from a gym session, or maybe they're looking to, get on the path of a healthier lifestyle. And that's really, as I mentioned before, one of our main missions is to build healthier communities around the world. Each one of our products have those particular elements in them, And it's really about ensuring that every single element that we offer people have that amazing taste, and they're driven by performance nutrition. So it's definitely a balance, and that's one of the things that we really focus on at Pure Green, is finding that balance, because when we're entering into new communities around the globe, maybe that person is not necessarily as versed in health and wellness, so we want to maybe ease them into that particular realm, right? And not everybody's going to be fully educated on what is healthy and what's not healthy. And as to your point, somebody may go to the grocery store and they may be looking at what potentially is healthy and what is not healthy. Labels can be misleading, or misinforming, and what somebody can think is a healthy product is actually doing a disservice to them. So again, each one of our team members is really helping educate those people to come in and continue on that path.
So, I mean, I know that the listeners, to my show, when they hear this, they're going to say, well, I've heard of turmeric, I've heard of ginger, I've heard of acai, and like pomegranate is another one. And the thing is, for most of us to go to a grocery store, even if we go to like a Whole Foods or we go to an all natural grocery store, for us to get the benefits of all these different superfoods, we would literally have to purchase large amounts of many different types of foods and know exactly what to buy and in what quantities and things of that nature. And I think in our chaotic lives, I think most people just, first of all, there's a cost. Organic foods, these superfoods that people are aware of, they're cost prohibitive for some people.
If I may, one of the things that we've done, in fact, before we started our expansion in our franchise world, we have successfully expanded all of our cold pressed juices throughout the U.S. So the initial aspect of Pure Green's expansion was providing cold pressed juice around the U.S. So we have already have large amounts within different states, whether that be California, Florida, all over the U.S. And so we ship our cold pressed juice to those, direct to consumer, or to different grocery stores, hotels. So that was our initial step. And the reason that we started there is to start the expansion and start helping people, in that perspective. And so on the back end now is where we're coming into play with the in-store location, so that somebody, again, as you mentioned, there's a lot of confusion out there. So our hope is, and our goal rather, is to have 50 assigned location franchisees by the end of this year. And we're on trajectory to achieving that. And then thereafter continuing the expansion. But regardless if the person is in a rural area and they don't have necessarily the ability to access a Pure Green, they can still get it, shipped to their home. And then to your point, as far as getting all of these, whether they be fruits or vegetables, or trying to make the right combination, we've made it a lot easier for the guest, to be able to ingest these items, because we are able to ship it. So, for example, if you go to the grocery store and you buy kale, spinach, and cucumbers, and apples, and all these different fruits and vegetables, you can make a nutritious element, but does it taste good? And is it something that you're going to want to consume on a regular basis? So, again, as I mentioned before, is really about making sure that it's something that, one, is nutrient dense.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it has amazing taste. Um, and so with those two elements, you can create a lifestyle. And
Right.
um, in creating that healthy lifestyle is the first step to achieving, better health, and longevity throughout one's life. And then our hope and our mission is to make that contagious throughout communities around the globe, so that one is, oh wow, that person is feeling great. I can't wait to, I saw Bob at the store yesterday, and he was looking great. And Bob, what did you do? Well, I changed some of the nutrition that I'm taking in. I'm taking in more whole foods and vegetables and cold pressed juices, and I'm paying attention to some of those elements in my life, and I'm really starting to see a turnaround. So that's where we come into play, and that's where we want to ensure that we can educate the guests on what is good and what you should be really focusing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think would you agree with me that as a country, now you guys aren't international. You're just in the U.S. right now, right?
We do have some accounts that are outside of the U.S.
Oh, cool.
As
Okay.
far as states are concerned, as far as retail is concerned, we are currently in the U.S.
Okay. Would you agree with the statement that as a country in the U.S., are we, as a country, are we nutrient deficient?
I would agree in that statement in some regards. I think that we are starting the trend of health and wellness is on an uptick. And the reason I say that is you can see a variety of different foods that are sold in the grocery markets, stores rather, and or gas stations or wherever you're finding them. Like, for example, almond milk, right? Say, go back 10 years ago, that was a foreign food, and not something that you can really find regularly. But now you can go to your local grocery market and you can find some of these items. So in my opinion, the general population is becoming more aware. At what rate is definitely a question to ask, and that is where we're trying to take it to the next level. We're trying to help people along that journey, and with your help and your listeners' help, and people around the globe, whether it be Pure Green or they're just in general trying to take in more nutrient-dense foods. Again, I think it's a contagious idea, and when people see the result of taking in nutrient-dense foods, and they feel better, regardless if it's shedding weight or if they're just feeling better on a regular basis, they're more clear. They can do things they haven't done in a while, or they're relieving themselves of symptoms that they've had or been struggling with, throughout the course of their life. That is, I think, where the most impact comes into play. So, are we where we should be? No, I think that there's a lot of room to grow. And I think that as time progresses, and now with the current circumstances of the world, and people are seeing that your immune system is one of the most important elements in your body, in taking that into consideration, people are taking their health more seriously, and not just saying that that's just something that's on the side. I can cheat for, and get by for a long time and take all these other prescriptions and so forth. When if you just focus on your health and you've taken in the foods that you're consuming, you can change your trajectory. You can make yourself not necessarily rely on Western medicine. You can really focus on getting yourself to a place where you're in a more healthy state. And to your podcast, and, state of mind and so forth. I think that the two are correlated very, very closely. When you feel better, you're more clear thought. and you make better decisions, and then your communities get healthier and so forth.
Hmm. It's the exact opposite of self-medicating, opposed to self-healing, or self nutrition, as far as what you put in your body. And I think there's there's so many stories, and there's so many things out there that you hear about, as far as like we talked about, the obesity, and the people are taking in less protein and more carbs. Well, carbs are more inexpensive, proteins are more expensive. So
Right.
the population kind of gravitates towards kind of a carb diet because it's less expensive, and makes them feel good short term, but it's not really helping them.
They're a complex thing. I mean, there are good carbohydrates, right? There are. Then there's the negative ones. They're the ones that are processed and so forth. So, like sweet potatoes have carbohydrates, and certain vegetables, and even some of our cold pressed juices and our handcrafted smoothies or made to order acai bowls. They do have carbohydrates in them, but it's the quantity and or the amount that you're ingesting and the style that you're ingesting. When it's
Right.
dehydrated or processed, which none of our products are, is really where people start to get themselves down a wrong path. And that's really, truly where somebody, in my opinion, really needs to focus on, and removing those elements from their body. And once they're on that path, though, it's hard to want to leave it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like once you get to the gym for X period of time, and you're feeling good, and you're in that routine, and you make a habit of that particular lifestyle, it's like, I'll put it in an example of this nature, where if you had an old pair of headphones, right, and you're using those headphones, and then you purchased a new set of headphones. Well, and then one day you put those old headphones back on, you notice a major difference in the quality of sound. Why would you want to return back to that old quality when you know that there's this other level that you have access to? And, that's where I think that people start to take that into consideration. And throughout my past, in the entertainment world, I was, one of those people who was very health conscious, and I had taken that education, that self-education, and then attributed that to helping others throughout the entertainment industry, and continue to develop them, to continue their daily lifestyles. And I've guided them, because it's obviously, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual to what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. But I could at least help with my passion of health and wellness, and what it's done for me, and continuing that journey, but helping them continue their journey, and continuing staying on that right path that helps them do 8 shows a week. And that's just one example, right? But the everyday person who's going to work 9 to 5, whether they be in working at their local office, or whatever the case may be, all the same principle. It's how do you create longevity? How do you create a healthier lifestyle? And then how do you continue that? Because you can feel so much better, and you can make a bigger impact on yourself and then others.
Yeah, that's excellent point, and a great explanation. I think for the most important thing that I want people to get out of this is the cold pressed juices. Okay, they are filled with superfoods and dense nutrient ingredients. Okay, and it is kind of a one-stop shop. You've made it easier for people to transition from an unhealthy lifestyle to a healthy lifestyle, where they can simply just have a juice in the morning, or have 1 or 2 juices a day, or whatever regiment they put together. The juices are one element, but you guys also in the store, you don't ship these, but in the store you also have the smoothies, and the smoothies are they have the same elements in them.
Every one of our cold pressed juices contain anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds of fruits and vegetables. So if you were to calculate that, and put that in front of you, that's a lot of fruits and vegetables that are put into every one of these, every one of our bottles. There's two different processes that we follow. One is we use a cold press, and so there's two different varieties of creating juice. There's cold press, and then there's centrifugal. Cold press is the variety that we use, and it is one that basically, if you think about it, and the easiest way to explain it is that if you took a lemon in your hand and you were to press it, right, as hard as you possibly could, and the juices come out, there's no heat that's applied to that particular fruit or vegetable. Within centrifugal, there's a motor that lies at the base of where your fruits and vegetables are basically being grinded, essentially, and it's turning in what is a circle, right? And so the heat from that motor can deteriorate the amount of vitamins and minerals that you're actually consuming.
Exactly.
So depending on how long the machine's on and so forth, will deplete the amount of enzymes and minerals that one is going to be able to ingest. So again, with cold press, you're getting the highest value of vitamins and nutrients and minerals from those fruits and vegetables. So that's the biggest bang for the buck. Then the second part that we use is what is called HPP, so it's high pressure processing. So it's pressure based in order to encapsulate the vitamins and minerals within the cold pressed juice, which extends the life of that, say, cold pressed juice from 3 to 5 days to 60 to 80 days, depending on the processes that what the particular person uses. So why do we do that? We do that because of, one, we want to be able to make it more accessible to the consumers around the globe. And so if it has a longer shelf life, then one in where at your home, you can get it shipped to your home, or you can get it shipped to Kansas or wherever in the country the person may be. And then you don't have to necessarily be as concerned about the timeline in which you're going to consume it. Of course, once you open that bottle, it does expire in the same format as when somebody has a regular cold pressed juice, or there's a timeline there. I would recommend drinking it within the next 6 to 12 hours of opening it. So, in that sense, but with the HPP process, it encapsulates all those vitamin minerals. So there's no additives, there's no preservatives, there's no nothing. It's all pressure based. And it's a technology that came, and it's been used for many, many years, but it's becoming more and more popular because you're not wasting as much, right? And then the consumer can hold on to that product. And that's how we're kind of doing two things. So that there's the environmental impact, and then there's also the longevity impact, and so forth.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to, we're coming up on a break here, and there's just a couple things I wanted to cover in this segment, and then I wanted to cover the psychological and emotional aspect of health and well-being and health and fitness in the second half, the second part. So for the listeners, this is kind of how I see it. Maybe the listeners can relate to this. Using dog food, dry dog food as an example, most of the nutrition in dog food is baked out of it. Dog food is processed and it is heated to extreme degrees, and that heat basically takes out all the nutrition or most of the nutrition out of that dry dog food. There's been studies on that. There's been all kinds of companies that have started, healthy dog food, for your pet that hasn't been baked or heated. And it's a similar principle than what you're talking about as far as the cold press goes with the heat. The heat can kill or destroy or minimize the nutrition or dilute it through the heating process. So to use dry dog food as an example, that is processed with high heat. And that's why the cold press juices are far better, obviously, because that process doesn't occur and that diminishing doesn't happen. So I wanted to kind of put that out there for the listeners to give them a contrast between the heat and the cold, and why is cold press, better. Well, as far as one other question I wanted to cover in this segment with you is, we talked about the cold pressed juices. The smoothies are smoothies, but they're very similar to the cold pressed juice, but they're in a form of a smoothie. Is that correct?
Right. So the difference, besides flavor, the reason that we have, or the elements with it, the smoothies are different to the cold pressed juices, is if one is looking for more of a meal replacement, or something of that nature. If they're like they're coming from the gym, or they're looking for something that's a little bit more, has a higher calorie intake. Not that any of the smoothies have a significant calorie amount, but the smoothies will essentially can play that part of meal replacement along with the acai bowls. They kind of go hand in hand. But again, the acai bowls are super rich in antioxidants because of the Brazilian superfood of acai. So if you look at tiers of acai, of antioxidants, acai is at the highest variety. If you think, if your listeners haven't seen or tasted acai before, it looks like a berry. It looks very similar to a blueberry. However, the seed inside is much larger, so it does take a larger quantity of the fruit in order to create what we use in our recipes. Now, we make it from what would be called scratch, right? We take the ingredients, the raw ingredients, which come to us in a pulp version, and then we blend it with other superfoods and/or liquid bases in order to create that base, and then we add some organic hemp canola on top, and then there's different varieties of toppings. So there's a vast variety of flavor profiles that somebody's looking to achieve within the acai. And then going back to the smoothies real quick here, we have 12 different versions, or a variety of different versions there. But depending on what the person's looking for, is the point I'm trying to get to. It always is about, where are you at? What are your needs? And how do we get you there? How do we help you get on that path? So if day one is coming from the gym, day two is I'm looking for something with a little bit more greens in it, great, let's go with that pure green. Now, I've seen this firsthand many, many, many times, where somebody's like, green juice, green drinks, green smoothies, no way, man. Like, that's not for me. And I've seen that transition. In fact, during our Orlando opening, just a little time ago here, a child, in fact, who detested anything that had anything to do with green vegetables. And I asked him simply just to try it. And there was a group of people around and so forth. And he tasted it and was like, wow, that tastes pretty good. Because of the combinations of fruits and vegetables that we added into our pure green smoothie, that allows the nutrition to be there, and then also the taste to be there. So it doesn't become just a green drink that tastes absolutely awful. It becomes something that is nutrition dense and then also amazing taste.
Okay. Now, real quick, and then we're fixing to go to a break here. Just a short sponsor break. Starting with the cold pressed juices, obviously they're a juice. The smoothie, any of your smoothies, you have 12 different smoothie combinations. But those would be more fulfilling, more substance. And then the third level would be the acesia.
Acai.
I have a hard time with that word. But those bowls are like, that's the top as far as substance or being
Um,
filling. There's more
there,
substance to them.
I would say the smoothies and the acai bowls have a similar principle as far as filling. It really depends on what the person's looking for. If somebody's looking to chew something or eat something, the acai is definitely going to be in your trajectory.
Okay.
If you're looking for something that's on the go, the smoothie is definitely going to be of your, flavor. Both have equal to as far as being, fulfilled and nutrition based and so forth. I wouldn't say either one has less, but they both get to the same results per se, but it depends on what the person's looking for as far as an experience is concerned.
Gotcha. I'll tell you what, we're going to go, we're going to take our break, do our sponsor break. And when we come back for part two, stay with us, folks, because when we come back, give us some of, when we get back, I want you to give us some of the ingredients that goes into the bowls.
Sure.
And I'll just call them bowls because I obviously have issues with that particular berry name, but that's okay. But when we come back, you can just let us know some of the ingredients that goes into the bowls, which is the third in the line of products, and then smoothies below that, and the cold pressed juices. So we have been talking with Michael Cecchini. Okay, Michael Cecchini with Pure Greens, and we will be right back after this short break. So stay tuned, folks. I want to welcome our latest sponsor to the Man at 50 podcast. The company's name is Pure Green, and they are one of the fastest growing juice and smoothie bar franchises in the U.S. They are taking on health straight on with some fantastic healthy, delicious products. So I would encourage you to check them out at puregreen.com. That's puregreen.com. And I am very happy to be associated with the Pure Green family and very happy that they are a sponsor of the show. Have you heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. They have great creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, and it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you'll need to make a podcast in one place. Check them out and download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm to get started. Welcome back, everybody, to the Man at 50 podcast. And we are speaking with Michael. He is with Pure Greens, and we have been talking about health and nutrition and happy lives and happy bodies and good health. So before we went to break, we were talking about the acai bowls. And I think I said it right that time for the first time in the entire episode. Michael, if you can tell us a little bit, I know that there's not just one acai bowl that you guys have in the stores,
right?
But what are the varieties or what are the choices? I mean, what ingredients go into them so people can go, wow, they'll sound amazing. So just let us know, what do y'all put in those?
So we have 5 different types of acai bowls that we have, and also a pitaya bowl, which we'll get into in a little bit here. But again, it depends on what the individual is looking for in order, to fulfill their meal. So we have our Pure Health Bowl, which is our organic acai that's blended with banana and almond milk to create that creamy, what would be similar to like a sorbet base or a yogurt base, very thick texture. Then on top of that, we have our organic hemp granola and sliced fresh bananas. So that one is a great one as an introduction. Acai it has a tart flavor to it, but mixed with these particular elements kind of smooths out that texture and creates that creamy texture I was talking about, but also gives it, with the banana, a little bit of natural sweetness. Again, none of our products have any artificial sweeteners or added sweeteners to it. So that's your very basic acai bowl that if somebody is looking to try, it's the initial one that they're looking to try. That's a great one as a starter. The next one that a lot of our guests have really seen a lot of favoritism towards is our Pure Health, our almond butter and hemp bowl. So the difference between these two bowls is that the same similar base type with that blended with bananas and acai and almond milk, but on this one, it has almond butter on it. So you're getting more protein. So if you're looking for something that has that protein-rich consistency, the almond butter hemp is going to be definitely the one for that particular guest to look for. Then moving forward, we have our mixed berry acai bowl. Now this one's a little bit different because we actually, it's a higher level of antioxidants. As I mentioned before, acai is a super dense or super high in antioxidants. This one is blended with strawberries. So you're getting more of a tart flavor on this one. On top of that, we top it with our organic hemp granola and our blueberries and strawberries. So it has that really rich tart flavor if somebody's looking for that.
Did I hear you say hemp in the second and the third one?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. That's, yeah. My antennas went up and said, okay, can you clarify hemp when you say that? Just so the listeners know.
It's from the plant, no THC or anything of that nature. It's just from the plant itself.
Gotcha. That'd be a big seller. So I wanted clarification on that. Okay, cool. They sound great. So.
And then we have our coconut chia acai bowl. So our coconut chia is really the most complex and most interesting as far as its look, its texture. It has a variety of different elements within its base. It's blended with mangoes, pineapples, and banana and coconut water. So you're going to get a very different flavor profile with the base alone. And then on top of that, we have, again, with our organic hemp granola, then we have sliced apples and blueberries, chia seeds, and coconut shreds. So you're getting vitamin C, you're getting antioxidants, you're getting omegas, you're getting potassium, and then the hemp granola has protein in it as well. So that one's super dense and super rich. And then finally, we're going to be moving to our pure green acai bowl, and this one is blended with our acai and bananas as our base here. But then this one's a little bit different because it also has spirulina. So spirulina is a blue green algae, and so it's similar to the principle of you could think of similar principles to wheatgrass. It's high in omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. It contains B vitamins, copper, iron, magnesium, potassium. So it's fantastic for energy. Again, super powerful antioxidants in there. All around, it's a fantastic item. It does by itself. It's obviously it's a blue-green algae, so it has a distinct smell to it all by itself, but blended with it's almost unrecognizable with the base. And then on top of that acai bowl, you have your bananas and blueberries. So you're getting more antioxidants, you're getting more potassium. It's a very energy filling bowl. Then finally, we have our pure pitaya bowl, which is also dragon fruit. With dragon fruit, super high in vitamin C, Excuse me. So that one's fantastic for energy function, immune system, immune boosting. Um, and then that one it's even more to the tart flavor. So if you're looking for something that is going to fulfill that tart uh, uh, flavor profile, it also has mangoes and pineapples in that base, along with coconut water. And then on top of that, we have blueberries and strawberries.
Wow.
Color is fantastic. If anybody had seen pitaya fruit in person, it's very pink. It almost it's it's super recognizable, but also at the same time, it's a very fun thing to be ingesting because it not only does it help with your nutritional aspect, it's a fun thing to actually look at and take a picture of.
Wow. For me and for the listeners, I wanted to share this with my listeners. The most exciting part of this company is your product line. I mean, currently you have 5 stores in New York City. You just opened up a new. I'm sorry, what?
There's one in Brooklyn. So there's so we have 4 in Manhattan and 1 in Brooklyn.
Okay, 1 in Brooklyn, 4 in Manhattan,
New York.
And then you just launched a new store in Orlando, and you're opening 1 or 2 in Chicago.
We're starting with 1, but
Okay.
in both cities, both in Florida and Chicago, we are going to be expanding greatly. So those are just we're just getting started in both cities.
Okay. Franchises are available for the listeners out there, and all the information to contact Pure Greens to find out about their no problem. In the show notes, I'm going to have links to the Pure Green website where you can order the cold pressed juices at their website, and they can ship it to you wherever you live in the United States. They can ship the cold pressed juices to you. As far as the smoothies and the acai bowls, you have to go into a store to get those. But the cold pressed juices, I've ordered them. They shipped right to my house. I'm in Texas, and I've tried them all. Actually, my son has tried several of them. He loves them. He's into health and exercise and sports. So, and he really, he loves them. The taste were for him. He said these taste really different, not in a bad way, just in a different way. But nevertheless, he slammed them before I even got a chance to taste that particular one. I'm like, well, I only had one of those, so I'll have to get another one. But so just so the listeners know, you can order the cold pressed juices no matter where you live in the United States. Pure Greens is expanding across the United States, and they're opening up new stores coming to a town near you where you can go in and get the acai bowls and the smoothies. The most exciting thing for me, and that's why I was so excited about the company, that's why I also invested in the company myself personally. For me, the most exciting aspect to this company is this is an option for people to take charge of their health, their well-being, their bodies, their mind, their circulation, their mental clarity, a whole variety of different things by simply consuming something that is absolutely beneficial to their bodies and their mind. And they don't have to travel for hours and go to any super mega healthy, Whole Foods or organic stores or whatever. They can simply make these products a part of their lifestyle and treat their temple, their body with respect and just bring in some really amazing nutrient dense delicious products into their body, and they can do it anywhere in the country, and they can start today. And all the guesswork and all the research and it's like I don't have time to look for all these different foods, and I know I should be eating healthy, and I see the infomercials on late night TV about they're selling this and that and turmeric and ginger, and cayenne and all this other stuff. But a lot of people just don't have the time to do all that research. It's like, I want to start taking these things. I want the benefits of the dense nutrition, but I don't have time. What you guys are doing is you're putting out there an option for people to simply get the product, consume it, and reap the benefits and reap the lifestyle change. That's the most exciting thing for me.
Thank you. That's a great explanation, and I do very, very much appreciate that. Ross, who is the CEO and founder of Pure Green, has put many years of effort into creating the formulations of the cold pressed juices, smoothies, and acai bowls. We've gone through extensive testing, tasting, make sure that we get the most nutrient dense products in every single, whether it be cold pressed juice, smoothie, or acai bowl, and limiting it to the specific items to make sure that, again, the taste is there and the nutrition is there, so that any category that you're looking to achieve, you're able to get the benefits without having to be overwhelmed by, should I get this, or should I get this, should I get a combination of that? Because I'm sure when somebody is testing or trying, to make their first juice or something of that nature, the result is not necessarily always as palatable as one would hope. And we've taken the guess, as you mentioned before, we've taken the guesswork out. We've created products that are easy, and you just had mentioned it. Your son has taken those, take a liking to the cold pressed juices. We also work with professional sports athletes.
I was going to ask you about the NFL.
Right.
We got like maybe 15, 20 minutes left of the episode. And there's so many things I wanted to cover. Real quick, tell the listeners about the NFL and the connection there with Pure Greens and the NFL, because I know there's some really exciting things going on with the National Football League and Pure Greens. So share that.
So our wholesale team has done a fantastic job of creating extensive relationships with the NFL, also MLB, NHL, PGA, and a variety of other professional sports leagues throughout the world. The sports nutritionists on those teams took a great liking to the product because of its nutrient-dense properties. And in fact, to go one step deeper, throughout our process over the years, some of the sports nutritionists actually came to us saying, hey, we're looking for these properties within a cold pressed juice. Can you help us here? So two of the cold pressed juices in our catalog, our Grape Shot and our Melon Hydrate, are a direct representation of what those sports nutritionists were looking for. And the reason that they're a little bit different as far as cold pressed juices are concerned is they contain Himalayan salt, which is electrolyte.
Right.
So that's a replacement for Gatorade, right? And so you're getting the benefits of the sodium and the electrolytes within those that property. But on top of that, you're not necessarily ingesting those artificial sweeteners. You're getting, whether it be within our Melon Hydrate, you're getting watermelon, you're getting citrulline, you're getting those recovery principles, and then antioxidants within those Melon Hydrates, and the same thing for our Grape Shot. So those two cold pressed juices were actually a direct representation, and actually started with our watermelon. When we initially started working with those professional sports teams, they were ordering watermelon like crazy. And so they wanted to take it one step deeper to enhance that relationship, which we're continuously doing. And we've created other things throughout that relationship. Our Heartbeat Shot is definitely one of them as well. And we're constantly working with other health professionals, sports nutritionists, to ensure that the needs of those professional sports athletes are being met. And then on top of that, many professional athletes have come straight to us. We have great relationships with a variety of different professional athletes who are buying it direct. We're getting phone calls all the time, and getting interest throughout that community because they know the quality and the nutrient dense products that we offer, and they've seen maybe one professional sports athlete drink it, and then another one drinks it, and it's in their locker room, or it's on the field, or something of that nature. So it's a great relationship that we've had, and we've grown, and we're continuously developing.
If high performance athletes are using, promoting, and taking part in your products, the average person that should be a big green light. It's like, they're putting in stuff into their body to for peak performance, and so the average person is going to benefit from it as well, even though they're not putting their body through that kind of pressurized performance levels. But didn't one of your I was trying to think, is one of your franchise owner, is he an ex NFL football player?
Yes. So one of our franchisees rather is he is the professional or post-professional Eagles player, Freddie Mitchell, who is working with us. Fantastic guy. Nothing but amazing things to say about him. He is full of energy. He is true to the core as far as his values and principles, and that's really another thing to talk about Pure Green and our team, which we really didn't touch upon. But it's all about the people within our organization, and every single franchisee and every single person within this community. And as you mentioned, we're looking for more franchisees to become a part of Pure Green. It's all about the people. It's coming down to where they're coming from, and ensuring that they have the right motives and values and so forth. And Freddie is definitely one of those people. And along with our Orlando group as well, and our Chicago group, those gentlemen and ladies are outstanding people to work with. And it's really an inspiring scene throughout the franchise thus far, because we're all working together to create and continue to evolve Pure Green. We're just getting started in that process of expansion, and each one of these people brings something else to the table, and their experiences, and they've worked in other restaurant industries, as well. So it's a really, really exciting thing. Freddie, for example, he's in Philadelphia, and he brings another element to it, and and his energy is just off the wall. Like I had a pleasure of spending some time with him out there, and I'm sure in the future to come as well, as we expand into Philadelphia. But and it doesn't matter what their background is. It's about who they are and how they and what they bring to the table.
Right. The team is that was one of the first things that attracted me to the company. The team, the energy, just the camaraderie, and it really is a Pure Green family. And it's very, very exciting to be part of the expansion and what's going on. I think the whole product line is amazing. I want the listeners to understand that not only do you have an opportunity to be a customer, whether you live near a store or if you order it online and have the cold pressed juices delivered to your doorstep, you also have the opportunity to become an investor. You don't have to. You can look at the franchise. There's a franchise process there. If you're interested, in purchasing a franchise, that's one way to be involved. Excuse me. But another thing for the average person that may not have the amount of money to put towards a franchise, there is ways for an average person, such as myself, to invest for very little money. You can invest a little bit into the company and become part of this movement, of this growth that's going on. And I myself did not purchase a franchise, but I am invested in the company. And I want the listeners to understand that not only can they be a customer and consume these amazing products from Pure Green, but if they are interested in investing and owning a part of what you guys are doing, that opportunity is there for them. So, and once again, that information will be in the show notes, and you can check that out if you would like to invest. Even if you have a little bit of money, you can get in and invest with this company and be part of what's going on, because I think it's incredibly exciting. I think you guys are doing amazing things. I wanted you to pass on something to Ross.
Yes.
Tell Ross that he maybe he's already thinking about this, but he may want to sponsor a NASCAR, because I can envision Pure Greens on the size of a NASCAR.
We're open to it. The conversation has definitely passed. And just to touch upon the investment aspect, in fact, we've successfully raised the maximum amount in our campaign with this particular round. But there is another round that we are absolutely looking forward to for your listeners and our other potential patrons. We've been very, very fortunate to have somebody like yourself and many, many others. And the reason that we went into the crowdfunding aspect of raising money versus going to VCs and other enterprises of that nature is because we're able to connect with somebody like yourself, or we're able to connect with individuals who are looking to grow their net worth, but if it's a grassroots aspect opposed to an individual firm. Nothing wrong with any of those individual firms, but it gives us a different opportunity. In fact, during our Orlando opening, we got to meet some of our investors. They came in, they tasted the product, and they gave us feedback, and it was really a great thing to see, along our journey, because you guys are a part of our journey. You're a part of our family as we grow, and we have feedback. We have other things that are coming soon, which you'll see if you next month or two. As far as additions to Pure Green and ways to be more part of Pure Green. So look forward to those aspects that are going to be coming in the next month or so.
I was just going to say, I will be speaking at Columbia University in November. And when I come to New York, I plan on stopping by one or more of the stores. And
sure. Don't you worry. You'll see the entire spectrum of Pure Green. And it's interesting in New York as well, because we are spread out throughout the city. Each individual community has a different, feel to it, whether it be in our Midtown district or Upper East Side or Greenwich Village or Brooklyn. Each store is within a particular community, whether it's that 9 to 5 or it's the family in Brooklyn, or it's a student at NYU or in the Greenwich Village area. It has definitely been it's a great feeling when you can see so many people taking a liking to our Pure Green products that are all from different backgrounds, and they're able to achieve that healthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting times, and with all the bad news that all of us hear or see going around, for me it's super inspiring, and it's great to be part of something that's positive, that is healthy. It's helping people. Any product that helps people, I'm all in. My products and what I offer is it's all about helping other people. And I think, I just think it's a great company. I want to let the listeners know that in the show notes, I'll have a link so you can visit the website. You can connect with Michael and connect with the whole Pure Greens team. You can also go to the website, my website, bradrichard.net /podcast or /sponsors. And there's clickable links to Pure Green on both of those pages at the website. So that's an easier way or quicker way, to get to Pure Greens. In our last few minutes, Michael, I wanted just to touch base before we have to wrap it up. We could probably go for 2 hours, but you probably don't have the time, and I'm up against another meeting as well. So in the last few minutes that we have, something that I want to drive home to the listeners. This episode is not about Pure Greens, their products, and the fact that these consumable products can benefit your mind, your body, your soul, your heart, and all that. It's not just about that. The episode has to do with people and how they feel about themselves. And I want to just touch base from a psychological or a self-help standpoint. There's going to be people that listen to this episode that have never heard of some of these ingredients. It's like, I don't even know what that is, and so they've never heard of some of these ingredients. They have never heard of the health benefits of some of the ingredients that you guys use. Nor do they know where to even get them. Okay. Excuse me. So for the listeners that are going, I don't know what any of this stuff is. This is all new. There's going to be people that listen to it this is very new to them. And excuse me. And I want the listeners to understand that you guys have plenty of information. You have a lot of educational tools, a lot of information that they can read about, check out, so they understand what exactly is this ingredient, what does it do, what doesn't it do, that type of thing. So you guys do provide the education along with the product. Now
that's one of the most important parts too. If I may add to that, it's education, understanding what you're ingesting. I know we spoke about that earlier in the podcast, but it's very, very important to us to share that with the guests of Pure Green.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that from a self-help, from a mindset, from a spiritual side of people, I've encountered some of my clients that I work with, and the people that I speak with. There's a lot of people out there that are in some real negative places about their self-esteem, about what they deserve and what they don't deserve. Do they deserve to be healthy? Will they always be overweight? Will they always feel terrible? Will they always look the way they look? The self-acceptance. I think health, when it comes to the body, is connected. They go hand in hand with your mental health as well as your physical health. And you are providing a way for people to become physically healthier and stronger, and to basically treat themselves. That's okay. To treat themselves better. Okay. And so for the listeners, I want you to understand a couple of things. Number one, you absolutely deserve to be happy, healthy, and to have the best body, mind, and spirit that you can manifest and create. You deserve to have that. And it's so important, in my opinion, and this is what I do, is helping people understand that they need to love their little me. and that's the little person within us. And when we were younger and when we were children, we had all these amazing dreams, and we can do anything, and we're indestructible, and nothing can touch us, and nothing can hurt us, and it's the sky. Sky's the limit. As adults, we get beat up, and life kind of beats us up, and starting with assuring yourself or believing that you deserve to be healthy and you deserve to be happy. And these products can help you get there from a physical standpoint. But when you start feeling better physically, you maybe lose some unwanted weight. You find yourself having more energy and feeling physically better. That will translate to your mind more opportunities, more beliefs in yourself, increasing your self-esteem, and good nutrition and wellness within your body can manifest in many, many ways outside of the body into your thinking and opportunities and dreams and goals and things of that nature. So for my listeners, I want you to understand that this is not just healthy foods. It's not just nutrition. This is also part of your growing and your journey in getting better and becoming happier. And your mind will play a part in that. And no matter where you are today, please understand that you deserve to be healthy and happy. And your mind and body need to work together. They can't be on opposite ends of the playing field, okay? And they can't be separate because they're not, and they never will be. They're connected.
Agreed.
So
Agreed, absolutely. And it really starts with that first try, and to kind of add a little bit to what you're saying, it's all about starting, right? Whether or not you've had the opportunity to taste a cold pressed juice before, or a smoothie, or acai bowl, even if every single one of these products are more or less foreign to you, it's about trying for the first time and ingesting something that we know that tastes good. We know that we've put hours and hours and hours of time into formulating. But the willingness to try and get yourself on that correct path, and then creating that habit. Because once you get into that habit of healthy living, as I'd mentioned earlier, once you put those old headphones back on, you're not going to want to go back. You're not going to want to, you're not going to revisit those old ways because you've had the opportunity to have a new lifestyle. And that's really what we're creating. We're creating a lifestyle at Pure Green. And regardless of where you get this nutrition, and nutrition is an element of Pure Green that we offer, right? If you get it from other places, that's fine too. We're trying to promote healthier lifestyles through the products that we offer. We're trying to make it easier for people, because if you're not necessarily or you're not versed in these things, this is where we can help, and this is where this is our mission. Our mission, as said before, is to build healthier communities around the globe by connecting people with superfoods. And that's truly to our core, what we do day in and day out. That's why we ship nationally. That's why we're expanding our franchises nationally. We are going to have 50 signed franchisees by the end of this year, because we want to take this message, this goal, these products to the world. And with your help, with your listeners' help, with everyone who's a part of this community, we can make this a reality. And this is something that it's not a far-fetched idea. And to those people who have never tried that before in their life, by all means, reach out to us. You can reach out to us via our website, or to me personally. I'd be more than happy to walk somebody through any questions they may be having. Obviously, we didn't get the opportunity to talk about each one of these ingredients in detail, But it doesn't matter your walk of life. Everybody has the opportunity and right to make themselves healthier, and it's about just starting. It's about just getting the those running shoes on and taking a walk, and or whatever the case may be, just getting started. And that's where we help, is we get that process started, and we know that we have the products and the education and the background to continue to help that person, guide that person throughout their journey. And I'm excited. I'm excited to engage with yourself more, and your listeners and the rest of the communities around the globe to see their evolution. And I've seen that time and time again throughout my experience in Pure Green. I've seen a lot of transformation. So people that were struggling with their health, they take it one day at a time. It's one meal at a time. If you fall off the wagon, it doesn't mean that you're there forever. It means that, okay, let's start again. Let's get back on the journey, and let's continue forward. And
absolutely. I think some of my listeners, when they look at the title of the episode, they're going to go, "Oh, this doesn't really fit his format." But actually, this episode, I believe, fits my format perfectly for two reasons. Number one, the mind and the body are connected, and I help people with their thinking and their image of themselves and their little person and their goals and their dreams, and I work with their mind and their heart. You and Pure Greens work with the body and the physical health aspect. So I think what I do, and I think what Pure Greens is doing, is a great match, and I think it is applicable to my podcast as well as my platform. I think it's more applicable than people might initially realize until they go, wait a minute. Yeah, A and B, C, I'm C, they go together. It's a good connection, and it's a two-part process. So we're gonna wrap it up. I really appreciate you being on with us, Michael, and I think it's a great fit. I think the company is amazing. I am so proud to be part of it, and it's the other part of humanity or of people that I can't affect. I can't provide value to my clients and people that I meet when it comes to health and nutrition and the physical body. That's not something that I can offer, but I can offer them encouragement and inspiration, and I can offer them tools in their mind and in their thinking, and you can offer them unbelievable opportunities from a physical standpoint. So I think, it works well together.
So we very much appreciate your time as well. And thank you for allowing us to share our message. And I hope this podcast is the opportunity for somebody to take that first step and continue their journey in their nutrition and their mind, and continue progressing towards that place where they want to be. And we're here to help.
Absolutely, as well as I am as well. I just, once again, we've been talking with Michael. He is the Director of Operations for Pure Green. They are based out in New York, but they are basically exploding all over the United States, and they're growing fast. And so check them out. In the show notes, there'll be a link to Pure Greens, and you can also click on the Pure Green icons at my website, the podcast page or the sponsors page. But it's been a pleasure, and I thank you for your time, Michael. I want to encourage everyone to check them out. Between me and between Pure Greens, I want to assure people that we're here for you and your little me. And I always end every show with the same message: love your little me, take care of the little person inside of you, as that little person needs you. They need you to step up, be strong, take care of them, protect them, and move forward. And they have the dream. It's your dream, and you need to just move forward with those little people that we all carry with us, that kind of tug on our pants or coat or shirt and go, hey, I'm still here, and you're really not doing what I want you to be doing. And so once again, just take care of yourself, everyone. Best of wishes to you, Michael. We'll be in touch, and continue success with Pure Greens. And just check them out, people. Check out Pure Greens. They're an excellent company. And reach out to me if you have any questions. You can send me a voice message on Anchor, or send me an email. I'm real easy to contact. So just get a hold of me if you have any other questions. And that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Once again, thanks, Michael. This has been the Man at 50 podcast, and we have been talking with Michael from Pure Greens. He is the director of operations in the United States for Pure Greens. And we have been, we went a little long, but we covered a lot of great stuff. So until next time, thanks, Michael, and take care, everybody. Take care of yourself, and we'll be back again with another episode of the Man at 50 podcast. For now, I'm your host, Brad Richard, and love to everyone. Bye for now. This has been the Man at 50 podcast. Please join us next week for another episode. And you can visit our website at outskirtspress.com/Man at 50 the book.